you're going to do call to order the meeting and do a roll call?
Yeah. Are we going? Are we live? All right, I'd like to call to order the May 27th, 2020 RDC meeting. Margaret, can I get a roll call, please?
It'll actually be me, Brian Blazak,
Present.
Paul Panzik,
Here.
Wayne Pondinas,
Present.
Michael Schilling,
Present.
Gerald Swett,
Present.
James Sakalaris and Cindy Sues are both ex officio members absent. Dave Zeppelin is present, and Beth Hernandez present.
Now it's on.
All right, first we got to move to the approval of the minutes. I need a motion for approval of the minutes for the February 26th, 2020 RDC meeting and the March 11th special meeting, March 11th, 2020 RDC meeting. Looking for a motion of approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion of those, and also the April 22nd redevelopment meeting. I'll second that.
All right, I'm going to call for a roll call since we're out live. We have a,
Is he asking for a roll call vote?
Yes.
yeah, we have a
Okay.
motion by Jerry Swets and a second by Paul Panzik, I believe.
Okay, Mr. Blazak,
He's muted.
You have to unmute yourself, sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Panzik,
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas? Wayne, you're muted.
Haven't put cue cards up.
Wayne, Wayne. Okay, well, we're gonna say Wayne is absent right now. And then Gerald Swett.
Yes.
So that would be 4-0.
You got me.
Hello.
Wayne, are you gonna approve the minutes?
Yes.
Okay,
Wayne.
Okay.
Then you got to call me yet and call me yet.
oh, I'm sorry. Michael Schilling.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion carries 5-0. Public comment is item number 4. Do we have any public comment that was submitted?
no, sir.
Any public, this is for the RDC meeting. Any public comment for the RDC meeting?
It still needs to be written, so.
All right. Hearing no public comment for RDC, we're going to move all along to item number 5, which is new business. Item A is bid opening. This is for the US 41 utility relocation project. NDOT's going to be moving through there, and we need to relocate our water line and sewer line, right, Greg? Right. Okay. Proof of publications were in order.
They were,
Sewer only, sorry. Sewer only.
and you had one bid from Grimmer Construction, located in Highland, Indiana. I'll go ahead and open that. Bid amount, $333,699. Included in the bid were all the, what appear to be all the required attachments. including your bid security. It's the only bid we have.
So would you recommend that we take those under advisement and compare it to our quotes or our engineering?
Yeah, I think that's your practice, right? You'd refer to staff and your consultant to compare it to your estimate.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to take the US 41 relocation project bids under advisement.
I'll second that motion, take it under advisement.
All right, all in favor, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Blazak?
Yes.
Mr. Panzak?
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas?
Yes.
Mr. Swett?
Yes.
And Mr. Schilling?
Yes. Okay, item B is consider the 2021 TIF pass-through letters for the overlapping taxing units.
I'll cover this one for you.
Okay.
All right, so it's customary, required by state statute, that we annually, prior to June 15th, approve, determine whether we want to pass through any assessed value to the underlying taxing units within the TIF districts in town. I believe, and I believe the clerk treasurer would agree, that we are not in a position to pass through assessed value to the underlying tax units at this point. So I've asked our consultants, Baker Tilly, to prepare the pass-through letters for your approval, and so we prepared the pass-through letters to all the underlying taxing units necessary. You have a copy of that in your packets. So the distribution sheet is attached of who that goes to.
Okay. Looking for a motion?
Is there discussion on that, or?
Unless you have any?
I have nothing.
Nothing?
So I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 TIF pass-through letter and authorize the redevelopment commission president to sign.
Roll call vote, please.
You need a second.
Second, somewhere?
I'm waiting for him to prompt. I'll second that.
All right, motion by Jerry Swett, second by Paul Panzak. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Blazak?
Yes.
Mr. Panzak?
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas?
Yes.
Mr. Swett?
Yes.
And Mr. Schilling?
Yes. Item C, ratification of Grimmer Construction Change Order Number 4, authorizing an increase of $5,613.80 for the West 96th and Earl Drive Extension Project.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, why the increase? Maybe Paul can answer that.
Craig, are you going to cover that, or would you rather have me?
If you want to cover it, that's fine.
There's actually 3 different changes amongst that 5,000, so, and I'll read these. During the construction of the project outfall storm sewer, unsuitable pipe bed foundation soils were encountered by the contractor. The engineer directed the contractor to undercut the problematic soils and replace with suitable materials at some specified volumes, $61 per cubic yard. Number 2, due to demolition and excavation of the existing east-west site access drive, contractor was unable to use existing designated construction entrance on US 41. The engineer directed construction of an additional entrance on Joliet Street to allow access for the construction vehicles into the eastern portion of the site, consistent with the contract plans for erosion control. That's that gravel entrance that you probably all noticed for the last few months. So that was number 2. Number 3, due to discovery of unsuitable soils in the detention basin construction area, geotechnical testing was required. Contractor provided engineer-directed assistance of personnel and equipment to provide necessary site access for the drilling equipment. So Grimmer assisted on a time and materials basis to allow our geotech folks to get their borings at that point. So all three of those add up to $5,613 of a change order. And actually, the revised contract price is actually less than the original price. We're still below it. Original contract price is $1,050,502.88. With the changes thus far, we're at $982,068.83.
All right, is that normal, Paul or Dave? It seems like they had a bid on it or whatever, and of course they're doing their work, that things were changed. Do we have to pay for that? Is that customary?
It's customary. It's not unusual.
If they encounter things that are not expected, normally there's adjustments like that. And we actually approved them to help get those borings a few months back too, just so they can get done, so.
Right, I just want you guys to clarify it for myself a little bit, but more so the public that may ask you questions or might be watching, so
Sure.
I thank you for that.
Yeah, not a problem. As you know yourself, Wayne, being out in the field, you start digging in the ground, you never know what you're gonna find, right?
Right. Well, that's
Yep.
true. I just trying to make a clarification on it, so
Yep.
I thank you.
Yeah,
I
no
thank you
problem.
both.
Thank you.
All right, looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to ratify Grimmer Construction change order number 4, authorizing an increase of $5,613.80 for the West 96th Place and Earl Drive Extensions project, and authorize the Redevelopment Commission president to sign.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Paul Panzig, second by Jerry Swets. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Yes.
Oh, Beth is muted.
Beth, you're muted.
Mr. Blazak,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Panzer,
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas,
Yes.
Mr. Swett,
Yes.
Mr. Schilling.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Sorry about that. Okay, item 6, reports and correspondence.
I have nothing.
I have nothing.
I have nothing.
You want me to cover it, or
Nothing.
do you want to cover it?
Do you have anything, Craig, or besides the KNS?
KNS, that was it.
Okay. I'll allow you to cover it if you'd like, and recap a little bit of what we covered in the meeting a week or two ago.
Okay, so essentially, for similar reasons to what we just discussed, sometimes when you get out on site, you encounter unforeseen circumstances, in this case, environmental conditions, soil conditions. And it was requested by the engineers that we do 3 additional borings affiliated with the road construction in the vicinity of the Joliet 96th intersection. There's a small area of bad soils near the proposed intersection, and given the fact that there's a small area of bad soils, the engineer is strongly recommending that we do 3 additional borings in that area to just guarantee that we understand where the bad soils are, that hopefully we don't have a much larger problem. And again, sometimes these issues are encountered in the field. There was one bad boring, I think, that was received previously with the borings that were done, and that led the engineers to recommend that we do 3 additional borings just to make sure we understand the extent of the bad soils associated with the intersection improvements at 96th Place and Joliet. So the total of that contract as proposed is $7,800 total. So if you have any questions, either Paul or I can answer those.
And this is on the,
Or Paul, do you want to add anything?
I would like to add something. So there's another good benefit. Some of these borings are actually going to be used on the other side of the site. We're looking for solutions to build the detention basin in a cheaper or less expensive manner. We cannot build the detention basin where it was intended and designed to be placed without spending a whole lot of money. Haas Engineering has come up with an alternate shape of the detention basin, essentially moving the entire basin east and stretching it north and south, so it'll be longer and skinnier, which would get the detention basin berms up on better soil. In addition, we're working with Mr. Boyer. At a meeting a few weeks ago, we discussed potentially gaining some easement or property from a small corner of his property in exchange for some of the basin area that we really don't think is usable. But before we do that, we'd like to get a couple borings, and hopefully it will lead to a significant savings if we could acquire this extra property at no cost. We'd just like to do the borings and make sure that it's worth our while to revise the plat and place the detention basin on better soil where we won't have to spend nearly as much to build it. So that's part of this boring order. So there's two different sets of borings. One's for the detention basin for that new exploration area, and one is to finish that intersection and ensure that the engineering for the intersection will be successful. That engineering is partially underway now. So Haas is concerned they don't want any more roadblocks in this project.
and for the road access from 41, this is on the west side of where the entrance is going to be, more on the cabinet shop property.
It's right, yeah, it's that small segment of the Teal property where the intersection actually touches Joliet. That's where they want to pull a couple of borings.
And on the south end by the basin.
Correct.
So all three engineers that we are employing recommend this procedure?
K&S and Haas both agree that these borings should be obtained, or else the potential for
Okay.
issues later will pop up. And that's what we've been encountering all year is insufficient borings were done in the beginning, insufficient data, which has led to many roadblocks. So they're hoping that these additional borings to the intersection will ensure that we won't run into anything largely unexpected.
Okay, thank
Now,
you.
has the motion got to go to K&S or
Sorry, no, you're just approving the
change order?
You're just approving the contract, allowing my signature on the contract. Not to exceed $7,800.
Mike, are you entertaining a motion?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with K&S Engineers, proposal number 12379-R, and for our town manager to sign it for an amount not to exceed $7,800.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Blazak?
Yes.
Mr. Panzak?
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas?
Yes.
Mr. Swett?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes. Moving along, item number 7 is payment of the bills. I have a docket here for the, this is going to be for the, from April 29th, 2020 to May 20th, 2020, in the amount of $183,286.23. And this is for bills for the RDC. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Blazak?
Yes.
Mr. Panzak?
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas?
Yes.
Mr. Swett?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes. All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Blazak?
Yes.
Mr. Panzak?
Yes.
Mr. Pondinas?
Yes.
Mr. Swett,
Yes.
Mr. Schilling.
Yes.